What's going on, y'all? All right, so see a lot of people are still confused on when to utilize letters of validation or when is the best times to use letters of validation. The absolute best time to use a letter of validation is the moment you receive a new presentment from a third party, creditor. Now, this example I'm going to show you is a real life example of a new offer that I just opened up in the mail today from a ticket. Yeah, I guess you could still call it a traffic ticket. A ticket I was given from a slimy officer in a county I was parked at. Now, the ticket was originally for display of I forget how he worded it, but basically he wrote me a ticket because he seen that I had a traffic light blocker on my plate. And he decides to not only write me a $100 ticket, but to unscrew, detach, and confiscate my property. He took the thing off the car and took it with him. So, of course, it was game on. Now, I sent the first challenge. I beat him. Or take that back. Actually, I think I sent my challenge like next day. Next day. And I believe the second his counter was to I believe to double the ticket amount. I think it went to like 200. So then I hit him with the same thing. Hit him again. Bow. And now with round two, technically I won right there. Now, the reason why I say technically is because technically that particular ticket is not in my name or attached to my name. That particular my particular license plates that I had, or my so-called license number, which makes this even more interesting, and the reason why I'm just entertaining this for entertainment purposes only, because I really don't have to do anything in response to this presentment because it's not even in my name or attached to any identification numbers that tie to my straw man. All right, let's go. Let's check it out. All right, so now as you can see, this is coming from Municipal Collection Services and Company. And this happened pretty fast, to be honest, that they sent this over to collections. Usually they take other steps and stuff like that. And these smaller counties are actually taking money out of people's taxes. So for some reason they say, now we need to go ahead and hurry up and sell this debt. Because that's what happens when your particular account ends up in the hands of a third party corporation. That debt has been bought. So now first thing to notice on the presentment is the information. Now, it showed up at my P.O. box because they do have my P.O. box. and that's fine. What actually is not fine. That's what's gonna make me actually respond because I didn't get permission to say anything to my PO box. Of course, nobody can send nothing to my house, you know, at all. So this is the PO box. This is why I'm not blocking it out for those of you slicksters out there that think you slick and think you got the ups on me or something. But so that's the PO box. Another interesting thing about this is that, well, the biggest thing is the fact that is the name. Look at the name. When have you seen a presentment that doesn't have a first name at all? It just has an initial. What makes it even more funny that it doesn't even have the actual name is that I don't have a C. None of my names start with a C at all. So that goes back to the original result when I hit him with the second round and I checked it in the system. I called in to verify that that was dismissed, and I just checked the actual ticket number in the system. Now, if you check the ticket number, it still exists because they left it inside of the system. But what they did was they changed my name. They took it out of my name technically and put it in this other name, and they changed my plate number. But they're still sending it to my PO box, I guess in a desperate hope and attempt to hope and pray that I actually just accept the offer after I just obviously beat them. So they had to take it out of my name, and they had to remove it out of my plate, away from my plate number. But they still sending it. So really what I'm gonna do actually now, since they wanna send stuff to my mailing address, is if they have permission, I'm gonna hit them with a nice cease and desist that's attached to a fee schedule, and I'm going to and if I had time, I would really pull that officer's badge. I don't got time to play these little silly games for petty disputes, you know. But if I had some time on my hands, boy, I would take that officer's badge. But yeah, for simple fact, I don't like getting bills I don't like bills. I don't like opening up my PO box seeing bills. So I'm gonna send a cease and desist to that police station and to this third party debt collection agency. Now, what I want to get into as far as presentments, this is how you identify. I always tell people when you first get that first presentment, especially from a third party, that third party is always going to give you the remedy inside of the goddamn presentment every time. Now look, it says it right here. Remember, don't see we get too scared on looking at the amount and then the date that we have to pay. You know what I'm saying? We get too caught up in that. Like, forget about the debt. Just read what it says right here. It says, well, let's flip this over. My bad. All right. So it says, okay, it has the ticket number, the date, ticket, whatever. The debt listed has been referred to. Look, now it tells you right here. The debt listed has been referred to us for collection by our client. Okay? The Village of Matson. Your account is listed as delinquent with a total amount due of $100. Our client, right? So they're trying to collect on their behalf, right? Now they refer to the Village of Matson as a client, which could be truth or it could be false. It could be that because they have to refer back to the original creditor somehow. So they'll do it in a way to make it seem as if like it's still the Village of Matson or the initial party or creditor that's after you, because those are the people that you know that you particularly so-called owe. or assumed to owe the debt. So they have to still refer back to you in their introduction to you. This is nothing but saying, "Hey, how are you doing? We're Joe. We're Joe Blow's collection agency, and we've already paid your debt. And but we like you. But since we paid your debt from creditor number one, we're demanding that you pay us back. We know that you technically don't owe us nothing. You didn't ask us to pay the debt, but we did, and we would like to have our money. But since you don't really owe us, you have 30 days to respond and let us know that you don't owe us in so many words, or it'll be a judgment in default, and now you will be immediately contracted to owing that debt right back to us." And it says that right here if we read the whole letter. They say, to prevent further collection efforts, please remit the balance due. All right, so people get scared right there. Disregard that. We don't care. That's a threat. We're not worried about that. To make payment online, go to the whatever. You must register prior to. We're not registering nothing. Use your full 10-digit account. That's not your account number. All right. To validate your account, select. You're not validating nothing. All right. Now, this is where the remedy is right here. Unless you notify this office within 30 days after receipt of this notice that you dispute the validity of this debt or any portion thereof, this office will assume this debt is valid. Let's say it again. They tell you in all of your third-party debt collecting offers, they give you the way out in the door in that first initial presentment. Unless you give notice to this office within 30 days. This is the contract now. The clock ticks from the time and the date you receive this or the date that's on the presentment. 30 days after receipt of this notice. So that means 30 days after you receive this notice that you dispute the validity of this debt or any portion thereof, this office will assume that the debt is valid because you ain't say nothing. So we're assuming that you really do owe it, that you really do owe this debt, and this debt is valid. If you notify this office in writing within 30 days from receiving this notice that you dispute the validity of this debt or any portion thereof, this office will obtain verification of the debt or obtain a copy of a judgment and mail you a copy of such judgment or verification. Yes. If you request this office in writing within 30 days after receiving this notice, this office will provide you with the name and address of the original creditor, if different from the current creditor. Exactly. And look, and then they actually had somebody sign off on this. Desiree Smith, account representative. Now, if things get real sticky, guess who you're gonna address? You're not gonna address Municipal Collection Services. Since she want to sign off on some stuff, we gonna address Desiree Smith. We're gonna address her, and we're gonna address the CEO of this corporation. Since she want to put a name on stuff, right? Desiree want to put a name on stuff. That's who we're gonna hold liable. All right, for the charges for violating and using our names without our permission. Anyway, just want to put that out there real quick. Pay attention to the words inside of these letters. Know what they're telling you. Know the language. Translation. Peace. Like, subscribe, share, all the above.